Hello, everybody. It's your boy Diego DJ Chris Jones checking in. Episode 94 being clocked in as we speak. Yellow Card Podcast presented to you by the Couch Guy Sports Network and sponsored by our good friends over at Shocked Energy and at Sogan. Make sure you check out all their products at Sogan.com. Use the code CouchGuy10, 10% off of your order today. Also check out Shocked Energy. Use the code CGSN for 10% off of your order today. Get all the electrolytes and your caffeine needed as needed. Couch Guy Sports, make sure you're checking out all the content. We got fantasy football coming up very soon. Fantasy leagues getting on the way as well. Got football season, baseball playoffs wrapping up very soon, or starting to come up very soon. A lot of stuff on the table for Couch Guy Sports. Make sure to check them out one time only, couchguysports.com. No subscriptions needed whatsoever. Episode 94, like I said, starting off with Chris Jones, the DJ here. Got lots to talk about, but without further ado, we're gonna start off with a quick recap of how the boys did last week. Jones, why don't you take over? Say hello to everybody listening to this episode or just tuning in on YouTube. Make sure that you're also checking out the YouTube channel from Couch Guy Sports. Give us a view, rate, subscribe, give us a like or a dislike, give us a comment, whatever you like to give us there. Make sure you're doing so. Jones, welcome. Episode 94. How you feeling, my friend?
A lot better than I did this past week. Jeez. His predictions were not great. I won't lie.
I know it's been a difficult one.
For sure. So right now, I went 3-7 last week. You went 4-6. So I'm now sitting at 11-19, and you were sitting at 10-20.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's the Premier League. On La Liga, we are both records-wise at 2-4. I think we both went 1-2, if I'm not mistaken, on last week.
No, you went 2-1 because you
2
had
and 1.
you had Atletico. I had the draw in that game.
Okay, right. And then Serie A, we're now at 4-2. Tough week for the boys in Serie A, but that is football. That's what it is. Bundesliga 0-3 for your boy Diego, 1-2 for your boy Jones. Same record stands for Ligue 1. So real quick, we're gonna give out some predictions that we think for week 4 of all leagues across the board: Premier League, La Liga, Serie A, Bundes, and Ligue 1. And then we're gonna touch base on the match of the week, which was Liverpool and Manchester United clashing. Both teams needing to get a win under their belt. A lot happening in that territory. And we also need to touch base on the closing of the summer transfer window as it stands right now. It is August 23rd. We got about 8 more days left of the summer transfer window. So there is a lot happening, and that will be what we will be talking basically about on this episode. So without further ado, let's kick off the predictions. To start off with the Premier League. Jones, why don't you go ahead and get the clock running on this one?
For sure. Because if I can fully forget about that Liverpool game, I'm going to. Jeez. All right. So first game on the card, we have Southampton hosting Manchester United at Southampton.
Yeah. I got Southampton. I got United winning that one. Boys are full of confidence. We saw a different United this time around. It is the St. Mary's. Southampton always plays Manchester United very tough. I do think United will walk away with a 2-0 score on that one.
You know, like you said, Southampton always plays United tough at St. Mary's. I think this game ends one of two ways. I think it ends, like you said, with United squeaking out 2-0, or it ends in a 1-1 draw. That's how I see both sides playing out. I don't think Southampton has a chance to win this game, but I don't think they have a chance to draw either. So I'm going to take the same exact score as you and take United 2, Southampton 0.
All right.
All right, next one, we got Brentford hosting Everton.
I think it's a great match for the two teams. Not a lot differentiating one another. I'm gonna go with a 2-2 draw on this one.
So I went back and forth here, because Brentford both plays tough defensively and they play tough defensively at home. So that's a recipe for disaster. But I think the big thing to watch out for here is Everton is hungry. And, last game they took on who they played last week? They played Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest was up in the second half. And Damari Gray came back after that beautiful pass by Pickford and scored the equalizer to get them a point. I think this time around against Brentford, I understand it's at Brentford, but however, I think Everton is going to get this done. I like them 2-1 to win. And I think one name that we're going to watch out for in the next couple of days is Anthony Gordon, if he's leaving or not.
Yeah, it's a good yeah. So what are you thinking score wise?
I got Everton 2-1.
2-1. Okay. All right.
All right. Next one, we got Brighton and Leeds.
I got this one drawing 1-1. Not a lot of difference on either side. Leeds looking a lot better this year. The Americans definitely having a major influence there. It is at Brighton though, and Brighton always plays really tough when they're at home. So I don't see either side harming each other as much.
I think Leeds is definitely one of the more exciting teams to watch right now, outside of the top 6 teams. So for me, I think I can't pick Leeds to beat Brighton just because I don't know. It's just every time I pick against Brighton, Brighton wins. Every time I pick Brighton, they lose. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in between. Like you, we'll go draw. We'll go 1-1 as well.
Okay.
All right. We got Chelsea hosting Leicester City. Chelsea got absolutely creamed. They were the biggest loser last week for me. I understand Liverpool lost as well, but they didn't lose as bad as Chelsea did.
No. I got Chelsea bouncing back on this one. Unfortunately, Leicester's not doing much this year. With not a lot happening on the transfer window for them, except the fact that they could be losing more players. I got Chelsea winning this one 2-1.
I got to win it 2-0. For me, Leicester at home, King Power, completely different team. But even at King Power, last week they lost to Southampton. I think this team is a shell of itself that we've seen over the past couple of seasons, and I think Chelsea just gets the job done. I'm going 2-0.
Well, Chelsea will be at home this time around. They'll be at Stamford.
Correct. All right, next one. We have Liverpool hosting Bournemouth. This one, I'm gonna start off here because this is a get right game. Now, look, Darwin Nunez is much needed up front. We saw in the Manchester United game, not having him hurt very much, and he needs to get his head on straight and make sure that he's not dilly-dallying or dicking around anymore because we just can't have it. We need him on the field. We're hurting in the midfield. Obviously, not having Thiago has been a big loss. Seeing potentially to get something in the transfer window done would be beneficial moving forward. However, I don't know what we'll see. I think this is a get right spot for Liverpool. I'm gonna go 3-1. I think Salah gets 2 and Nunez gets the other.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think this is definitely about a bounce back game. Nunez will be available this time around, completing the trifecta for Liverpool of Mo Salah, Nunez, and Luis Diaz. I'm actually giving Liverpool a 4-2 winning score.
Okay. Next one, we got City hosting Crystal Palace.
I got City winning this one 3-1. It is at the Etihad. Crystal Palace always struggles there. City's just looking good. So nothing else left to say.
Don't get me wrong. I think we will see very much so what Manchester City is about. They went down early 3-1 against Newcastle last week, but then they worked their way back to get the 3-3 draw. I think we'll see a little bit more here from City. I like them to win. Same exact score, 3-1. Last one, final game on the Saturday slate. We got Arsenal and Fulham.
I got Arsenal winning this one 2-1. Fulham will be a little bit competitive, but nothing that Arsenal can handle.
I agree with you. I think the thing that's stopping me from taking a draw here is the fact that they're not playing at Fulham. I think Arsenal is red hot right now, and I think you have to continue to ride them. I think they win 2-0. I think Fulham plays them very, very tough. I just think Arsenal gets one early, and then they'll coast through the game, and then late in the game when Fulham's trying to make a rush, then we'll see Arsenal taking that step forward and getting that second goal. All right, let's move to the Sunday slate. We got Aston Villa hosting West Ham United.
I got West Ham winning this one 3-2. West Ham desperately needing to bounce back. They just got their man that they've been dying to get on their books, and Emerson Palmieri. I got this one 3-2 West Ham. I think it's going to be the thriller of the week.
We got West Ham 2-1 for the exact reasons that you said. They desperately need this win. I watched their game against Brighton at home, and Brighton just took the wheels off of them, and West Ham just couldn't get anything going. I do like them to bounce back here. Give me West Ham 2-1. Next one, we have Wolves hosting Newcastle.
I got this one ending in a draw. It is at the Molyneux Stadium. Wolves always plays very defensively when they are at home. I like what Newcastle is doing, but I don't see something yet that will differentiate Newcastle from Wolves, especially with playing them at home. So I'm going with a 1-1 draw.
I'm actually going to say Newcastle 1-0. I think, like you said, it's going to be defensive heavy. Don't get me wrong, but I think that Newcastle is going to be the only one to get the goal here and get the job done. So with that being said, I like Newcastle to win this game 1-0. Last but not least, we have Tottenham and Nottingham Forest.
I got Tottenham winning this one 5-2. I like Nottingham Forest, but Tottenham right now is just unstoppable.
I got Tottenham winning this one 2-1. Nottingham Forest, they're at home and they're a gritty team. I think they're gonna get rough and tough with Tottenham, and they're not gonna be afraid. And I just think that Tottenham will find a way to get the win here. But I would not be surprised if Nottingham Forest makes it tough for them. All right, so that does it for the Premier League. Let's get into our Premier League best bets. Both of ours lost last week again. I had Leicester City just real kick in the dick for me. I'm not going to lie to you. And you had Tottenham minus 1.5. They only won by 1. So I'm setting at 1 and 2 minus 1.2 units. You're 0 and 3 minus 3.9 units. The Yellow Card Parlay is 0 and 3 minus 3 units. Okay, so that being said, I will start us off here as I am technically the lead dog in the gambling aspect of this. I like the odds on this one right off the bat, so I think I'm going to add this into our parlay. I understand that you're not going to be a fan of this one, but it's just the way I feel. Newcastle, right now, plus 170. They're going to be a tough team for Wolves to go up against at home. I know Wolves is very dangerous at home, but I think this Newcastle team will get the job done. And I think they're going to look to make up for the 2 points that they lost over this past weekend against City.
Not bad, not bad.
So what do you got for me?
I'm gonna ride with Arsenal over Fulham on this one. I like Arsenal's recent trend. They're red hot, like you said. I got no reason to bet against them right now, to be honest.
All right, so we're gonna take Arsenal minus 1.5, minus 120. Arsenal. All right, so now we get the 2 picks from the both of us. So right now, the evens that we have Manchester United, but before we do this, remember, every time we put United in the parlay, they've always lost. So maybe for your sake, we stay away from it. We got the draw in Brighton and Leeds, Chelsea, Liverpool, City, West Ham, Tottenham.
I think we ride with Liverpool on this one. It is Bournemouth. Bournemouth has always struggled against Liverpool. And with Liverpool desperate to have a statement win, I think this is the one.
I think the only thing for me is the odds on this is way too high to take, especially in a parlay. I don't want to be taking that -1.5 at -320 personally. So I'm gonna say let's get away from it. Let's go down the line here. I think if we really like it, I think we ride. Where is it? I think we ride West Ham. I'm confident enough in West Ham. They got +220 odds. It'll boost the parlay up a little bit.
Yeah, let's go ahead.
So we'll go West Ham. And then I think the last one we should do, I think, let's see, we feel confident enough in City. I think if we get them at, no, that's still too high. Never mind. I think, do we want to add our first draw into a parlay?
Yeah, why not?
We draw in. We're gonna go draw Brighton and Leeds +270. All right. So right now, EPL parlay, yellow card parlay, -3 units, 0-3. This parlay right here is +5760. So if you put $1 on this parlay, right, you will win $58. If you put $10, you'll win 586. 100 will hit you at 5,860. So that being said, we'll run through the lines again for you real quick. Newcastle +170 is my best bet. Arsenal -1.5 is Diego's best bet. We have West Ham +220 and the draw between Brighton and Leeds at +270. Those are our 4 bets we're putting together in the parlay. +5760. Let's hit this. I'm feeling confident enough in this. I think if we hit this draw to start us off, I think the confidence is going to be using the rest of the way through.
Perfect. I like it.
All right, let's dive in. So now we want to do La Liga. You had the La Liga game, so I will let you get us going on that aspect.
Sure. For the La Liga games this week, we've picked Real Madrid versus Espanyol, Rayo Vallecano versus Mallorca, and Almeria versus Sevilla. I'll start us off. I'm going with Real Madrid over Espanyol 2-0. Real Madrid just a shell of themselves the season so far. No reason to bet against them.
I like them as well with you. 2-0 here. I think, we're looking at the La Liga play for Real Madrid. I mean, don't get me wrong, at Celta, 4-1 win, but they struggled against Almeria in the opener. I think they got the run out of the gate here. I think they finish just like you with a 2-0 win.
Okay.
What's the next one? Next
up, we got Rayo Vallecano versus Mallorca. Not a lot of differentials here. However, Rayo does have a nice little offense building up. They got Radamel Falcao in there and a couple other factors that could shake up Mallorca defensively. I'm going with a 1-0 win here for Rayo Vallecano.
Say 1-0.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually going to go with a 1-1 draw here. Okay. I think for me, Vallecano, if I remember correctly, is going to be without their starting setback Lejeune, as he got 2 yellows in their last game against Espanyol. So I think for me, Mallorca will play a little bit better, a little bit tougher, and I think that they've let one slip away against Real Betis because realistically speaking, Real Betis scored both their goals on penalty kicks. I think if they clean that up, I think there's a real chance Mallorca beats them. So I think they bounce back. I think I'll take them as a draw. What a 1-1.
Perfect. I like it.
What's the last one?
Last one is Almeria versus Sevilla. I got Sevilla winning this one 2-1. Tough start to their season. They need something to bounce back, and I think with facing Almeria, they'll be able to do that.
Well, I think with Almeria, if they play to the level that they played against Real Madrid, I think it's going to be tough for this Sevilla team, no matter what. I like Sevilla to win exactly 2-1. I think it's going to be a dogfight. I think Almeria is going to be a tough out for them.
Okay. So you
Uh,
got 2-1 for Almeria?
I have 2-1 Sevilla.
Oh, Sevilla. Okay.
I do think it'll be tough though.
Yeah, perfect.
All right, let's move over to the Serie A side of things. 4-2 both ways. First game we're talking about it's Lazio hosting Inter Milan.
I got 2-0 for Inter winning this one.
See, I'm getting nervous here because Diego and I are getting a lot of the same scores, a lot of the same teams. So either we're gonna look real good next week, or we're just gonna look like big dummies. So I'm gonna go 2-0 in Inter Milan as well. I think their team's a little bit deeper, and I think Lazio is taking that step back right in front of us.
Perfect.
All right, next one we have is Juventus and Roma.
I got Roma winning this one, 2-1.
See, I like Mourinho in this matchup. However, I do think Juventus gets their second consecutive draw. I'm going 1-1 in a draw here.
All right, 1-1 draw.
Last one, we got Fiorentina and we got Napoli.
I got Napoli winning this one, 2-1. Napoli's looking really strong so far.
All right. Well, Fiorentina to me, I like them a lot this year. They were one of my teams coming in. I think they played really well in the opener and against Empoli over this past weekend. I thought they played tough. They just couldn't get the job done. I think Napoli does get it done here, though. I got Napoli winning 2-1. All right. Bundesliga. Last week I had Gladbach over Hertha. They won, and you had Wolfsburg over Schlock, and I think they drew.
This week I got Dortmund over Hertha.
I'm going to start a trend that, for me, it's more than likely whoever plays Hertha. I'm going to be taking the other team for my Bundesliga best bet. But so for this week, I got Dortmund over Hertha as well.
All right, I like it. All
right, let's move over to Ligue 1 real quick.
I got Marseille over Nice on this one. Just cause.
Just because it's Nice. For me, I had Marseille over Brest. And they were my one loss, so I'm gonna stay away from them for a little bit. I actually like Lyon over Stade Reims as well. So I think that's a big one that we have to look out for as well.
All right.
All right. So that does it for that. That does it for that. Any final thoughts here?
No, not really.
Well, I'm gonna tell you one thing that we need to keep an eye on, and that we'll be touching upon next week. It is the 2022-2023 Champions League and Europa League groups as they are coming out on Thursday morning here in the States, Thursday night out in Europe. It looks like there's some real potential that Liverpool could be entered in the group of death, as they could match up with Real Madrid, Inter Milan, and I believe the other one was, oh God, I forget. But it doesn't look promising for Liverpool right now, so we'll have to wait and see. So right now in pot one we have Real Madrid, Man City, AC Milan, Bayern Munich, PSG, Eintracht Frankfurt, SD Porto, and Ajax. And pot two we have Barcelona, Sevilla, Atletico, Juventus, Liverpool, Chelsea, Tottenham, and RB Leipzig. In pot three we have Inter Milan, Napoli, Dortmund, Leverkusen, RB Salzburg, Shakhtar Donetsk, Sporting CP, and Benfica pending qualification. So if they can get in as well, that'll be a big one. So August 25th, the tournament will kick off at the beginning, and I believe the middle of September. So trust me, there's plenty of things that are happening. You have to keep your eye out on these Champions League qualifications as well. And yeah, no, definitely looking forward to Champions League and Europa League as well.
Yeah, same here. All right, so let's dive over to the summer transfer window. Like I said, we got about 8 days left for it to finish and conclude and whatnot. A lot of rumors blowing up at this, and even at this hour right now. we had a report about an hour or so ago of Alan St. Maximum potentially being bidded for by Manchester United. I don't believe that report is 100% true.
You know what I mean? Hold on, you know what I mean? Saint Alan Maxime, as our Twitter guy said, unreal.
Yeah, I was dying laughing at that. Our intern had a little bit of
Brain fart.
brain fart. But hey, listen, the guy does play like a saint, so I can't fully fault him. Um, either way, what I would say is if United is really preparing to make a bid for Alan St. Maximum, it's just a stupid mistake right now at this point. It's just pointless to draw another big signing to a club that's already got enough for what they need. They do need a couple other signings, but they do not need a signing like him. Um, I do think he's a mega talent. Don't get me wrong. I think at the right club, Alan St. Maximum would be a perfect fit. I just don't think United at this point would be the right fit for him. I think if anything, it would be a step back into his career and to the role that he's already playing at a club that really is valuing him for what he really is worth. Another rumor that we got going on at the same moment as well is Anthony Gordon potentially being sold over to Chelsea. Chelsea submitting a bid for about £60 million to Everton for Everton to consider. Everton is sitting on the offer at this moment as we speak.
They'd be dumb not to take it.
Yeah, I mean they Everton is at a position where they desperately need the money. They need the capital to start funding their next legacy and future. Um, I do think though that Frank Lampard should push back a little bit more to make a little bit more profit. Anthony Gordon does have a gigantic future in this Premier League, especially at the way and the level that he's playing. I do think that Everton would be stupid though not to consider selling somebody of that talent, especially when they can make the cash where they can make it. Um, Moving on from that, we also received reports that Liverpool at this point in moment are heavily considered to be active at the end of this week on to next week, for potentially a new midfielder with Thiago Alcantara injured and Navigator injured. They desperately need a midfielder at this point. It proved to be the case, especially against United. They need some creativity as well. They need some new legs as well to give them additional backup with so many injuries at the club. At this point, this is a concerning situation for Liverpool. Jurgen Klopp talked about it yesterday during the press conference. He's been mentioning it for a while. I don't think this is an excuse at this point for Liverpool. I think it is a situation that you guys are dealing with at the moment. And it's a desperational move at this point. Maybe, if I was Liverpool and I was ownership and Jurgen Klopp, I would consider maybe a potential loan deal, or I'd be even considering making a move with Barcelona, maybe looking for the services of somebody like Memphis Depay, somebody who could just be a band-aid to the problem while Thiago and Navigator recovered. Something cheap, something that they can use and adjust with. And I think somebody like Memphis Depay could use the coaching of Jurgen Klopp to get back to the level that he can actually be at. I don't think Depay would make sense for United. I don't think Depay would make any sense for Marseille either, or for Juventus, to be honest.
I think for Liverpool, I think one name that you have to look out for. Actually, he currently plays in Serie A, and I think for his value right now, I think it's very underrated. I like this Algerian midfielder, Ismail Benacer, as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
Getting him around 33 million euros, I think would be great. Obviously, again, you have James Miller's age catching up to him. It looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, with Jude Bellingham being that dream signing, this guy would fit the build that we need right now.
Yeah. Oh,
So
absolutely.
he's definitely someone I would take a peek for.
Absolutely.
And
Another,
also, one of the other signings that just happened that I think is going to be very well for this team is the fact that Newcastle got Yao Pedro from Watford.
Yeah, yeah.
That kid, Yao Pedro, has some serious potential. And I think if he gets the right coaching, I think Eddie Howe can put him in the right direction. And I think he can build his value up a little bit. And then I think he could play for a top 6 club.
I definitely couldn't agree more with you there. Another another couple of storylines that are gonna be worth uh following up with is number one, it seems like Cristiano Ronaldo remains determined to want to leave Manchester United before the close of the transfer window. One of the rumors and the team's rumored to make a move for Ronaldo are Olympique Marseille, which are the rivals of PSG in Ligue 1. Could we see the rivalry rekindle between Messi and Ronaldo, potentially to the same levels that it once was at La Liga? Hell no, both of them are at their age and starting to show a little bit here and there. I don't think they are a shell of who they used to be anymore. So that's a storyline worth following. Now, the other one that's very juicy and worth following at this moment, though, is Cody Gapco, as well as Anthony, potentially fully being moved to United. Seems like Anthony has been um, heavily involved in making sure that Ajax allows him to leave. He's been very vocal about wanting to join the Premier League. He dreams of being in the Premier League and wanted to play Premier League football. We saw him be very vocal on social media, like in a lot of the posts made by United players like Lisandro Martinez and some others, commenting on social media as well. He was seen on Instagram stories watching the United football game with his agent by his side and kind of just having conversations there as to what the future could look like for him. Cody Gapco said to also have agreed to terms with United, personal terms. It's just a matter of fact if Anthony is able to make the move, or if they disregard Anthony and they just go straight for Cody Gapco. Either way, it seems like United will get the number 9 that they desperately need. Either signing would be a phenomenal fit for the club. Now that that we're talking about United, we should probably transition a little bit into the game that took place. I know for Liverpool this was a tough one to swallow, and probably not the easiest of atmosphere to walk into. I mean, you are walking into there's been a lot that happened before the game and during the game and even after the game. Before the game, a lot of protesting happening outside of Old Trafford, all around the area. Hell, I mean, United even had to cancel their pre-game meeting at one of the hotels because of security concerns due to the protesting happening. Protesting happening as fans just really want the Glazer family out of the club for full. There is rumors that Sir Jim Ratcliffe could be buying large majority of the team, and the rest could be people owed. There's a lot of at move right now happening for United, indicates that a sale could be happening. A lot of reporters seem to think that there is a sale pending to happen either mid-season or at the end of the season this year. It seems like the pressure is really for the Glazers to just leave the club once and for all. The American influence at this club has been persona non grata since day one, and I think the fans have just really had it. Then during the game, United came in with a lot of intensity. They really wanted to show a different front and a different personality, who they've been. They came in hungry. They came in with intensity. They came in with pressing, the style of football that we all have been expecting to see out of a Erik ten Hag led team. And I think we finally got to see a little bit of a shade of it. Not fully. I think United still has to do a lot of improvements, but I think we saw a good piece of improvement there. I think Jones, you and I would agree. We definitely have a new partnership in the center back for United. It's no longer Harry Maguire, Victor Lindelof. It's no longer Harry Maguire, Eric Bailly. It's none other than Rafael Varane and Lisandro Martinez. Those two were unbelievable. Varane winning a lot of the aerial duels during the game. Lisandro winning a lot of the physicality aspect of things. Yeah, he's short and whatnot, but man, the man really made his presence be felt. And I think the way that he covered Mo Salah and a couple others were part of the factor as to why we saw Liverpool struggle offensively and not deliver the high press intensity that we have been so accustomed to from Liverpool for the past 4, 5, maybe even 6 years that Jurgen Klopp has been leading this club. What are your point of views on the Liverpool side of things? I know a lot of Liverpool fans really aggravated at how things are going right now and whatnot. I saw a couple of posts on Twitter that I laughed at. You know, a lot of people saying how maybe it is time for Jurgen Klopp to leave the team, and I'm like, how stupid can you be? You got the second best coach in the world. Why would you even suggest that? What are your thoughts?
Listen, they just need to get a win, and they're back up in the mix of things. You know,
I agree with that.
I'm not stressed about this team. I think moving forward, you know, looking at this schedule coming up, I mean, besides obviously Bournemouth coming up, Newcastle, Wolves always plays you tough. You're at Everton, that's a rivalry game. At Chelsea, that's a tough September stretch right there. You know what I mean? So these next 4 or 5 games, we're gonna need to see the best version of Liverpool, and in order to do that, they need to get healthy, and they're banged up right now. So if you look at their injuries right now, they have Joel Matip, who's out with a groin injury. You have Thiago out with a hamstring. You have Curtis Jones, who may or may not play next game in the calf. You have Oxlade-Chamberlain out with a hamstring injury. Naby Keita's out at the moment as well. Konate's also out for the moment with a knee injury. You're banged up a little bit. So if you look at how this team lined up against Manchester United, right? You're looking at this formation. And up front, you're in a 4-3-3. Up front, Firmino, Salah, Diaz. The only other forward that could have came in for any of those guys and play up front was, in fact, I mean, Harvey Elliott. You know, Carvalho could have came up as well. This team is hurting right now. They're not as deep as some would have liked to say. Henderson's getting up there in age. Milner's getting up there in age. Some of these guys can't play at this level anymore. They desperately missed a guy like Sadio Mane in this matchup. And, you know, not having Darwin Nunez for it because of the suspension definitely hurt them. And I think moving forward, Klopp's going to have him on his best behavior on the field. And I think that he is going to be the reason why this team gets back into the swing of things. Most likely going to be the reason why this team gets back into the swing of things. Luis Diaz, you know, once the midfield gets healthy, I'm not too worried about it. But right now we're relying on these older veterans to get the job done, and it's not going to work when you're playing some of these top teams in the competition.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think the only different suggestion I would make is maybe involving Carvalho a little bit more. We saw Carvalho come in towards the tail end of the game for Liverpool. It is how the offense was able to finally open themselves up a little bit and kind of throw defensively United off of their intensity. We saw Carvalho be a little creative towards the left side, towards the left flank, where there were maybe some weaknesses there exposed by United. But honestly, altogether, I think this came down to tacticalities as well as fitness for both clubs. I think United's a little bit more fitted than Liverpool, and I think that's a fair statement at this point. Not a lot of substitutions available of quality for Liverpool at this time and moment, and therefore, you know, the team in itself is not as fitted as it could be. And I think tacticality comes to the fact that, you know, United came out with a 4-2-3-1 formation, but I mean, let's be honest, they transitioned heavily a lot of the times throughout the game. They at one point they were a 4-4-2. At some other points they were playing a 4-3-3 formation. They were playing a 4-4-1-1 formation. They we saw United really bring their A game in. I have to give it to United here, not because I'm a United fan. I just, for me personally, I mean, even to see Virgil van Dijk not even be a shell of himself, I was shocked. I mean, I think you guys heard me last week. I was betting against United. I thought United was going to get smoked, especially at home with Liverpool playing the way that they have been playing. But this was surprising, and I think the atmosphere in the stadium helped a lot too. The fans were definitely loud. There was excitement already in the air in the air over the Casemiro signing for United, which is huge. It's gigantic, a step forward in the right direction for United. And just seeing, the fans really be that involved, I think the fans were definitely the 12th man in this game for sure.
The last thing I'm going to say on the Liverpool side is, there are a lot of things popping up on my feeds and stuff like that. One of the big things I've been seeing, I don't know if you've seen this or not, but it's apparently the Klopp 7 curse. Have you seen that?
The Klopp 7?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've seen that. And to some extent, it has some credibility behind it because that's what happened to him at Dortmund.
That's what happened
Before,
to him, Mainz as well.
yeah, before he left and at Mainz and all that stuff.
Mainz, they got relegated, and he left. And he went to Dortmund in the 7th season after winning 2 titles and going in the Champions League final. They finished in 7th. Right now, Liverpool, we're starting 10 seasons.
Yeah, I don't think there is an immediate replacement that's suitable if you are to sack Jurgen Klopp. I just don't think there is a good replacement at the moment that you can say, okay, let's hire him. And if you guys, and if ownership is really gonna think that Mauricio Pochettino is the answer, Liverpool's got a huge problem ahead of them.
I just think that this ownership group is going to be the death of this team, unfortunately.
I wouldn't necessarily say that because I think with the signings
do.
that you guys have had, it seems like when club has some interest, they have backed them up. So there is a little bit more flexibility, I think, and I think I can say that at liberty with how much the Glazers have really struggled to make things happening for United, especially under new management and new techniques coming in. I mean, just look at how embarrassing it has been all summer transfer window long to even secure Frankie de Jong. It's been the most embarrassing storyline for United in years. When has United struggled to secure a signing that they have wanted all along? It's just it's ridiculous. Meanwhile, I remember just last year, Liverpool was at the forefront all along to get Luis Diaz. Chelsea tried getting in between and they got barked at. Manchester United tried getting in between. They got barked at. Liverpool comes in and they're like, yeah, please take them. What do you want from us? Same with Darwin Nunez. You guys were leading the forefront on that all along. Manchester City try and get in the middle, and it was like, nah, Liverpool's got this one secured. So again, I just I don't know. I don't know that there is a good replacement for Jurgen Klopp. I think if Jurgen Klopp is to leave, Liverpool will be entering a very dark age.
Couldn't agree more, my friend. Couldn't agree more.
But with that said, listen, week 4 is ahead. I think you guys have an opportunity here to bounce back against Bournemouth. I think with the many struggles that you guys showed and United, I think that will give you guys enough power to literally just be able to bounce back and get back to the Liverpool that you guys are. I do think again the injuries play a huge aspect of who you guys are right now. It's impossible not to admit that. If you don't admit that, then you're just an asshole. But with that said, looking forward to week 4. A lot of Premier League football to be played here. A lot of season to go through. Stay tuned to the Yellow Card Podcast Twitter page. Make sure that you're following us. We will be on top of every single report and rumor that we are seeing on the summer transfer window, especially as the closing days are getting closer and closer and closer. Make sure to follow us on TikTok. A lot of content coming up on there as well. And just a personal shout out to Mr. Jones himself. Personal new goal reached by him, as he is now the leading factor for a local high school here in one of their biggest sports program. So wishing him the best of luck. With that said, episode 94 concludes here. Chris Jones, Diego DJ, signing off. Until next week, see you all later.